Welcome everyone to the pre-match press conference ahead of the Mzansi Super League game against Nelson Mandela Bay Giants tomorrow evening. First ball's at 7 o'clock. Got Dale Steyn here today and Coach Ashwell Prince. I'll open it.
David, do we have to go first? Ashwell and then Dale?
You can go ahead, open floor, and we'll gather for one-on-ones, but obviously training starts at 10. So if we can keep it, yeah.
Ash, you had a good weekend over the past. Do you think, were you expecting to be 2-2 after the first week?
Honestly, no. I suppose at the start of the competition, when you have 5 Proteas away and Asif arriving late, you sort of planning and hoping that you get one out of the 2, and then when the full team is here, you sort of restructure again. But having said that, we do have some quality players in the squad. Obviously, for the first game it was quite a young squad, so that result was phenomenal, really. And then when Dale come back on Sunday and Asif is in the team, it's a slightly stronger team or more experienced team. So when you're planning, beforehand you're looking at 1 out of 2. You'll take that. So 2 out of 2. I mean, obviously we're happy about that.
And just the way that these Pakistanis have come in and just made an impact. I mean, there's this talk that obviously JP found the one and the other one was found on YouTube. Is that how much truth is there in that?
No, JP played a massive role in the recruitment of the Pakistani players. He obviously played with them in the PSL. So the other guy that's replacing Nawaz now, Talat, is joining us. He played with JP as well. So Talat and Asif Ali played with JP, and obviously Nawaz has been somebody who's been recommended by an agent, sent us a lot of footage and so on. But these guys are all full international players, so it's they're quality cricketers and they settled in nicely.
Ashwell, can you just sort of give us general your thoughts on how the first weekend of the tournament has been on, just what your feelings are on the tournament after the first sort of couple of days?
Well, I've always been of the opinion that our domestic T20 competition, the standard of cricket is quite good, and that's mostly without the Protea players. And then when you add the Protea players and you add 2 or 3 internationals to that, you've got a good product. And I think over the first weekend of the competition, it really felt like it's a quality product in terms of what's going on the field. And some of the games we've seen exactly that. You've seen AB play an unbelievable innings here. Seen 1 or 2 young guys come on into the first weekend and putting their names up in lights, type of thing. And then obviously you had Asif smash 80 of 33 balls on Sunday. That type of quality from an international player. So, over the next week we will have all the Protea players back in the different teams, and that will raise the level again. So, in terms of the product, I think it's absolute quality, what we're witnessing in the middle at the moment.
Actually, just looking ahead to tomorrow night, the Giants, it's different challenge altogether. A lot of spin, taking the pace of the ball. What do you expect from them?
We're trying to plan exactly as you say. Every game a new challenge, different challenge, and obviously there's homework to be done on all their players. And so over the practice today and a little bit tomorrow morning, we'll prepare accordingly in terms of what we'll be facing. But it's like you say, every game is going to be a different challenge. And you have to make sure that you can counter whatever they've got to offer.
Actually, just the fact that the Cobras did well coming into this tournament, you've got a lot of those young players would have had a lot of confidence. Did that help coming into a new tournament?
I'm not sure if any of the domestic form will have any bearing on the results of this competition.
More the players, the youngsters.
Yeah, I think they're probably coming with some confidence. Carl played beautifully on the opening night. Jason got a 20 odd and Yanaman scored 30 odd, played nicely on Sunday. So I'm sure there's a bit of confidence there, but this is, 2020 for us cricket compared to 4-day cricket was totally different. I think the young guys are really excited about being in the same room as people like Dale and Asif, and I mean on Sunday afternoon some of them were sitting there with their mouth open watching the way this guy was hitting the ball, and I think they will learn a lot from that experience.
Ashwell, have you thought about your selection headache when Farhan and Quentin comes back?
Yeah, obviously we're trying to get combination together for when everyone is here. But like we've been saying right from the first game, when all the international guys were not here, that we've got good players, and ultimately the players in the squad were selected out of over 400 names that were in the draft. So if you've been selected to play in this competition, you must have something. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I felt, you still felt confident even when the senior guys weren't here. And I'm sure over the course of the competition, even with all the international players coming back over the course of the competition, you're going to be still needing your full squad. So yes, it's going to be unfortunate for some people to miss out, but I still see, especially with some of the back-to-back stuff coming up, where other players who might not play tomorrow will play a massive role going forward.
Ash, there's been some confusion about Darwin. Is he leaving to go play in the T10 or not?
He's already gone.
Kyle, can you sort of give your impression for the first week of your involvement in the first weekend of the tournament?
I thought it was very exciting. Like, you watch all these other big 2020 leagues around the globe, and in the start you kind of compare the Ram Slam towards them, and I always felt like the cricket was there, but like from a viewership point of view it wasn't. But I sat down and I pretty much watched every game that happened this weekend, and it felt like you were watching one of those major tournaments, because it is a major tournament now. And it was so fascinating. Brookie was telling me that some of the guys that haven't played that much and that maybe have played Ram Slam were just excited by the fact that there were LED boards around the boundary. And that is, I kind of take that for granted playing at international cricket, because that happens at every single game. But for the young guys coming through that have got extreme talent and could potentially play international cricket, they don't see that every single day. So it just makes for a lot better viewing. But the cricket has been brilliant. I mean, Mash, he mentioned some of the knocks that have happened and some of the guys that have put up their hands already from all of the teams. And that it's no surprise, because there's some immense talent in this country. And then when you put that together with the international guys that are around, like when they start rubbing shoulders with Chris Gale and the other internationals that are playing in these teams, you're going to see these guys are going to raise their game. They're going to bowl 5 kilometers quicker. They're going to hit the ball a lot further. It's great. We're 5 years behind. I'm happy this has happened now.
We've seen over the last decade how the IPL has helped Indian cricket development players, and they're much stronger now as a national team, probably because of the IPL. When you see a player like Andrich Nokia bowl with you, you think that is the long-term benefit of South African cricket, apart from what the tournament brings for the players, to the national team, that our depth and our youngsters coming through will improve better and quicker because of this tournament.
Well, once you start rubbing shoulders with guys that are of high quality, it will rub off on you. Like, I was very fortunate that when I joined the team, there were some amazing players in that team, and that's what it really shoots you in your cricket to go forward. You're learning a lot better. I rock up in the Proteas team 14 years ago. I got 1 pair of boots, and I sit there and I look at Sean Pollock, and he's got 8 pairs of boots, and they're ready to go. And you watch Jock Callis and Mash and these guys, how they clean their equipment and how they look after their stuff. And sometimes you take it for granted when you don't get the opportunity to spend time with these quality players. And this is what's going to happen with, Nokia and Yanaman and these guys. They're going to look and they're going to go, okay, so that's how you look after your bat. That's how you get the best out of your bat. Oh, this is how I'm going to get the best out of my body, is by having 4 pairs of boots and not 1. Really looking after your equipment. And that's something that you kind of take for granted, because you don't see that happening all the time. So yeah, anybody that's coming through has been selected because they're good. like Mashi said. But now they're going to go to the next level because they're going to learn the small ins and outs of the international game that they don't often see when they may be playing at domestic level with one international player. They get a lot more now.
If I can just elaborate on that, I think, you know, in the past when you didn't have these leagues, you only get to find out about yourself when you eventually get selected for the Proteas or for your national team, because you only then get to play with the big boys. I think what this allows is for a young player at an earlier age to play with the big boys and find out whether he can actually play with those boys or not. Whereas, you know, in a Proteas team there might be 2 or 3 new faces over a 4 or 5 year period that comes in. You know what I'm saying? Whereas here, a young player, I mean, Andrich Norkier in the space of 1 weekend, you know, has bowled at some top players and he knows he can bowl at top batsmen. You know what I'm saying? Carl Verheyen knows that he can play on that stage now after 1 innings, where it might take him 10 years before he play for the Proteas, and you don't get to find out about yourself. Whereas a lot of young players will have the opportunity to bowl at the death to a Chris Gayle and you really find out about yourself. Or bowling in the power play at the Chris Gayle, you find out about yourself, you know.
They'll just, one Andrich note, you talk about guys playing with other players, when he gets to play with you, and it seems every time he speaks, the only word that comes out of his mouth is they'll stay there. And he pinches himself all the time. What do you make of the young man?
Yeah, I'm a man of extremes, like on and off the field, pretty much. You know, and I think, yeah, and you know, the things that excite me is extreme pace, extreme spin, extreme hitting. You know, when it comes to cricket, and obviously extreme fielding. You know, you look at guys that can really like push the level, and you know, Anna is that and more. You know, like it really gets you excited when you see someone running in with that amount of intensity, and he makes the likes of AB de Villiers first take 2 balls to have a look at what this guy's about. And AB prides himself on not having a dot ball bowled to him, but he'll let 2 balls go through to Anna, you know. So he can sit down, he can be pretty proud of himself just in that, you know. And I think it gets the country excited because we've got a rich history of fantastic fast bowlers, you know. And, you know, the cupboard is looking good now, you know. And every time I sit down, because I've been a fast bowler for a long time, people ask me, who's the next one? Who's the next one? And honestly, I can never really tell you because I don't play a lot of domestic cricket. I spend a lot of time playing for the Proteas. And then you see the Lungis coming up and they might go down. You see the KGs come up, he stayed, he's good. But you get what I'm saying. And now playing in this tournament like that now to, you know, have him come out, because he's not going to have a lot of games televised when he's playing for the Warriors or wherever he's playing, you know, in 4-day cricket. And now he gets this whole competition to really stand out. I mean, he could be a multi-millionaire come end of December when there's an IPL auction, you know, because there's a handful of these guys that can bowl 150 kilometers an hour. And, you know, if you stand up and you put your hand up and you knock over big batsmen in this tournament, people are going to have eyes on you. And not just from other countries, but this country especially. You could be playing for the Proteas quicker than what we think.
No, and equally, I mean, you've obviously played the game a long time and you've learned a lot. But when you see these young guys bowling these slower ball bounces and, you know, and knuckle balls and stuff, do you ever go to them and say, show me, you know?
Absolutely. I was talking to someone the other day. Can't remember who was doing it. Who was bowling it? Sibs was bowling it in the nets, and I said to him, "What are you bowling then?" And he's like, "No, I'm bowling it back with the hand slow ball." And I was like, "Well, I got a broken shoulder, so I can't do that anymore." But I'm always keen to learn, you know, and I'm always keen to help, like where I can, you know. So he was bowling it seam up the whole time. So I said to him, "Have you considered trying to bowl it like maybe just run your fingers across the seam? So it still looks the same, but it kind of there's a difference in when the ball comes out, it kind of fools the batters a little bit more." So as well as at the same time that I'm learning, if I can learn something that I can potentially do, that's great. And if I can help someone who's doing something that's good already and just try and take that to the next level, you know, I'll do that too, you know, maybe make him consider something that he hasn't thought of before. So, yeah, but I'm always keen to learn new tricks. There's not many that you can do, but yeah, I'm always keen to try and learn something new.
Actually, you have 20 and Brian available tomorrow.
Indeed.
Ashwell, so you have Steyn and Loki as well. Is that the way forward with the Blitz, like taking the team's place up front?
Well, look, I mean, at the end of the day, when you go into the draft, you have a certain strategy and you're looking for certain type of players. you're sort of sitting there hoping that they don't get snapped up before you get your hands on them. So, I mean, we planned and we got most of what we wanted. Obviously, we had Samuel Badri as well. He was another big player for us, and unfortunately, he got injured. But we have some able replacements in obviously in Nawaz who came in. So look, I mean, at the end of the day, I suppose all the teams and the managers will say the same thing, that they got who they wanted and they're happy, and we're entirely happy with our squad. So, you know, it's all about now trying to create a nice environment in a group where people can go and express themselves.
Ben Duckett went fairly nicely for the Giants the other night. Do you see anything that we could exploit in containing maybe?
I have played against Ben Duckett, and obviously Rory has played with him in the same team, so we got some information. But at the end of the day, you can have information and the guy can still go out there and play well in the day. And also, with the information that you have, you still have to go and execute the plan. I mean, so yeah, we do have some information on him from some first-hand experience.
And also backing the Cape Town team at Newlands tomorrow night. That must be a good feeling.
Yeah, it's lekker. I mean, yes, I've lived here for a long time. This is probably my favorite stadium in the world.
Probably.
No, it is. It's. I think it's the most beautiful stadium in the world. You know, you don't get a view like this anywhere else. It's just down the road from where I stay. I'm doing what I love doing, you know, and I'm doing it with some of the coolest guys that you know, and you're playing against other good players too. So you're always challenging yourself. And I've said it before, you know, when I broke my shoulder, like I didn't think that I was gonna play a lot. There was a lot of question marks. So, you know, I kind of really enjoy every opportunity I get out there to play right now. You know, and it doesn't matter who I'm playing with or against, but when you're playing at home, it's even more special.
Final question? Any question?
Actually, with players moving in and out, you mentioned David is already gone. Who else is leaving? And
Nawaz is gone as well. So Nawaz is also playing in the T10, and he's been replaced by Hussein Talat, who's an all-rounder, but a seam bowling, batting all-rounder, bowl seam, not spin. So he's available, easier and available as well.
And Asif stays for the rest of the tournament?
Asif stays, yeah.
We get more 30 ball 80s.